One day at work, I was talking to one of my coworkers during our lunch break about being a kid in elementary school and how fun it was. However, my coworker vehemently disagreed with my statement and told me the following story. Friends, why do you need them? That may be one of the biggest questions since, does God exist? Friends are reflections of ourselves. They're always there when we need them and oftentimes can help us deal with some tough times that we can't seem to get a grip on. I would have to say that my husband is my best friend. He loves me just the way I am, hearing loss and double hearing aids. It just doesn't matter to him. My whole childhood, I heard the same tired old phrases. You're deaf. We don't play with your kind, or you're not a real person. This would really piss me off. I used to go home very upset, crying from school all the time. I used to get teased all the time because I was held back in the second grade, not because of my grades, but because the principal of my elementary school was an asshole and prejudiced against hearing impaired disabled people. These couple of boys used to tease me all the time about my being held back by saying I was stupid and had to repeat the second grade over, even though I knew it wasn't true. The principal of my school was such an asshole that he actually said to my mother that I should go to school with my own kind, a school for the deaf. My mother stated that I was going to school with my own kind, children. Also, schools for the deaf only taught sign language and not speech, even if you had some hearing. Well, the principal insisted that if I were to stay at the school, I would have to repeat the second grade over, and my mother reluctantly agreed to this. Those couple of boys that I mentioned earlier were such assholes. One day during a fire drill, one of the boys started teasing me by calling me retarded and said that I was so stupid I flunked second grade, and he called me four ears because I wore hearing aids. When I asked him to repeat his last statement, and when he started to repeat it, I gave him a right hook. I had my middle knuckle sticking out, which brought him down like a sack of potatoes. My teacher at the time told me that I shouldn't hit boys for no reason, even though I had a perfectly valid reason. The teacher said I had to stay after school and write 500 times that I would not, not hit boys for no reasons. After about a half hour, she came back to check to see how I was doing. Of course, I hadn't written anything. Why should I? When all I was doing was sticking up for myself. I told her that I didn't plan on writing anything. I tore up the paper and threw it in her face, then stormed out of the classroom and went home. The next day at school, the teacher told me that the boy I hit was going to be missing school for about 3 days because his face and eye were swollen and bruised. When he came back to school 3 days later, he had a doozy of a shiner. All the kids teased him, especially the boys, because he got his ass handed to him by a girl. He never teased me again.